Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers, Facebookians. Welcome to another edition of Living Simply and Fun. I'm your host, Rita, and that is Aaron. Or as some called me, Nubs. So, Aaron, what are we smoking tonight? For Mother's Day, by the way. And happy Mother's Day to all you out there.
This is our first try, the Liga Pravada number 9. These were gifted to us by Johnny Sticks to try. And so we will be reviewing them. As we've said before, we will review anything sent to us.
Yeah, and this brush was gifted to me by Aaron.
And as you can see on the back, it shows a little undercrown or a subculture image. I'm used to those being on undercrowns. Have not tried an undercrown yet. Very nice looking stick here. I got a small crack in mine right about my thumb. That shouldn't be a big deal. There's a few veins in this.
The question I have about this cigar to start with is, any of you out there that's watching this video, can you tell me if this cigar was made after 2007? Because the FDA is going to be really screwing over with people's Liga number 9s.
So the first thing here is that it is a Connecticut broadleaf Oscuro wrapper, according to Drew Estate, Connecticut broadleaf dark, but otherwise it's considered an Oscuro by almost everywhere. It has Honduran and Nicaraguan fillers from 7 different farms. That seems to be everywhere that they say that. And the binder is a Brazilian Mata Fina. However, it's interesting that Drew Estate calls it a Puros when it's got tobaccos from Honduras, Nicaragua, Brazil, and Connecticut. That doesn't exactly make it a Puros. Liga Pravada means a private blend, and these were originally blended by Drew Estate for themselves, just to put into, I don't get that. Oh, okay, I do get that. It was created for Drew Estate, or by Drew Estate for their private ownership. That was not going to be distributed to anybody else, just, Jonathan Drew and a couple other people there. According to Blind Man Puff, the blender of this is Jonathan Drew. According to JR Cigars, the blender of this is Drew Estate President Steve Saka. Various different sites either say Saka blended it or Drew blended it. It seems that the popular belief is that Steve Saka blended it.
All I can say, if Jonathan Drew actually blended this, he's got props, but his egg totally sucked. He needs to smoke an egg himself.
Only Drew Estate's best rollers get to bind these cigars. Apparently that's what makes them limited edition, and then after binding them, they have to sit for a year, so it's possible to see these even disappear from the market and come back to the market after a while.
Is that why there's a high price tag per box of
Now,
these?
to answer your thing, it was rated number 10 overall in the top 25 of 2015 by Cigar Aficionado. I believe that these came out in 2015, so they're not a very old cigar yet. This is what's called the Corona Double, which is a 7x52 or a double Corona. It also received a 94 rating, and depending on where you go, these have between a $12 and $20 price tag. I know our local B&Ms have them for $19.
Which one?
Both Mike and Big Smoke. When we say Mike, we mean Evergreen Smoke Shop in Wenatchee, Washington. Online, I've seen these, I think, at 17 or 18 at the major stores. So, anyways, that's all the information I got to give on this. So, I'm going to go ahead and give this a sniff test. Got a very nice sweet smell coming from it. I'm actually kind of shocked to smell such sweetness off this. It doesn't remind me of the French fries at all.
I just pick up sweetness, but I don't pick up any other flavors to it.
There might be some coffee chocolate notes as well in that sweetness. And the footer kind of gives me a slight sweetgrass smell, but...
Yeah, I'm picking up the sweetgrass, but that's
the primary thing I'm getting off this stick, though, is just plain straight sweetness.
Exactly. It smells like honey, basically, but
Yeah,
Who
I could
knows?
give it
We'll
a
figure-
honey smell.
Happy Mother's Day to all of you out there. For some of you out there, including Johnny Six, thank you. I'm trying to take it slow and nice
This
and
is
easy.
her welcome back video review.
Once we talk to the doctor tomorrow, we'll know more. So,
Kind of hay and cocoa coming off the back. Maybe a little earthiness on a dry puff. Oh, I say it's time to fire these up.
hay and cocoa and earthiness, we'll know more. I don't taste it, so. But then again, you all love honest reviews, so.
I try to do my best to make sure it's honest.
Well, no.
And I try to stay nice even if I don't like something, because there's always the possibility that even though I don't like it, somebody else might like it. This is weird. My triple torch lighter has only 2 torches burning.
And yes, for some of you out there, I'm looking just to see where I
Check that out. Only 2 of the 3.
You want to use mine?
No.
I didn't get it all, it seems.
Like so many sticks, this does not have the pepper on the initial hit. Kind of a sweet taste again.
There we go.
Sort of maybe chocolatey. It has some mild bitter notes that linger in the mouth. Decent finish so far.
What do you think? I missed again?
Looks okay. We'll see as it goes.
Yes, I'm not going to be fixing it either.
Yeah, I would say this cigar is a bit on the meaty side, which is oftentimes said about this
look
cigar.
at that end.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you have a little bald spot here. Go ahead, puff. There.
Now we're just going to let this fix itself. I'm picking up creamy notes.
Kind of a strong retrohale. Kind of makes you taste pepper more when you take a hit afterwards. These are very clearly loved cigars we posted on Cigar Cartel. Hello to our brothers and sisters of the Leaf out at the Cigar Cartel.
Yes, hello to our brothers and sisters of the Cigar Cartel.
But we're getting a few comments here about how we're in for a real treat here, and that's all we've ever heard on these things.
I'm picking up light hints of pepper in this particular cigar. So I mean, this isn't what I would call a pepper bomb. So
Nice and smoky. I'm kind of getting something like a sweet bell pepper, no, more a basilic pepper, but no spices with it, just the flavor of. Well, there's a quote, better eat first. They will knock you on your ass if you're not ready. Well, luckily we just had dinner. We had Asiago Alfredo sauce with zucchini and bow tie pasta.
And by the way, for some of you out there watching me, I was answering that guy there who posted about, better eat on a
kind of some chocolatey
full
notes.
stomach.
This is not as full-bodied as I expected it to be. It is listed as a medium to full. So far at this point, I'd say it's medium bodied, perhaps medium in strength. Of course, that time will tell more on.
Yeah, because it's got a transition, so as you smoke it, we can probably figure it out.
Doesn't seem very complex in flavors, but at this point, it's still a little early to tell. So
let me just say it's got a unique flavor to this cigar. What do you think?
Mm, kind of some standard flavors, but it's kind of hard to find them in this good blending. So far, this is very nicely done. Uh, and I'll see how it marries as this goes on. So we will get back to you at the halfway point. Hello, and welcome back to the halfway point of this Liga Pravada number 9. I threw a friend of mine for a loop when I said I found the flavors to be rather standard. They're not exactly standard. There's honey, there's cocoa, there's slight pepper that lingers on the back of your throat, there's some toasty notes and some slight coffee hints. But it's married very well. But the thing that I find most impressive is kind of um, the scent that I'm getting off the blowback from the smoke.
No room note.
Not so much the room note. I will say another thing is I'm finding that I really want to smoke this fast, so I must really be enjoying it. Somebody said have a full stomach before smoking one of these. So far, this is not very nicotine rich and not very heavy of a smoke either. Oh, I love that smell of the smoke. This has been, to this point, a very interesting smoke. Now, what's going to be interesting is during the final third, do I think it's worth the money? Because that's one thing that we at Living Simply and Fun try to emphasize. Because when you have a limited pocketbook, is it worth the money to fork out to get one of these, etc.? So I'll save that till the end.
I'm picking up pure cocoa myself, but I also want to say to you subscribers out there that you see me use the lighter all the time, I'm trying to give this cigar time to fix itself, but sometimes I've had 2 minor fixes and the cigar is burning semi-wonky, but I'm giving it some time to see if, like I said, if it fixes itself. So,
it usually will.
So
it really depends on how thick the wrapper and binder are, and whether the damage to it that is, when it starts to burn wonky, whether it's the binder and wrapper that's not burning. If they just aren't burning, there's little hope to get them to burn once you've gotten to a certain point.
Well, the other thing I was going to say is there is a light pepper on the palate. And so far, I would not say that there's any Ligero in this, but we'll find out in the final third.
The finish on this is very nice, I'll say that. Now that I've slowed up my smoking, I'm kind of enjoying the flavors that are mingling in my mouth. So, but they're not anything I can put a distinctive finger on and say, oh, I'm tasting this, I'm tasting that. It's just a beautiful flavor.
I agree with him completely. I also want to say that this does have buckets and buckets of smoke. I can't complain. And as I said in previous videos, some of the room notes being outside has been very stinkier in here. However, I do want to say we chose to do this inside tonight because it is so 30 windy. Miles per hour. And for the record, and Johnny Sticks will probably learn this eventually from Aaron, I tried a Deadwood cigar last night, and the thing burned so wonky because of the wind. It was just a giant disappointment.
Actually, you didn't have many wonky burns at all.
It was running
yeah, but it was fixing itself for the most part. I was watching. You only fixed it like twice.
Well, right now I fixed this twice, and I'm trying to let this fix itself so I don't sit there and fix it all the time. I'm trying to give this cigar time to fix itself, as Aaron would say.
But so far, so good. Definitely enjoying this. We always say enjoy every puff, and there's no problem enjoying every puff of this. So.
Talking for a minute, I did take a minute to watch a video by Brian Glenn at Cigar Obsession over the FDA. I was actually shocked at what I saw when it comes to cigars. 10 years ago, almost 11, I started smoking, and they had the humidor was not nearly as big as it is today. No, I went shopping at the Tinderbox.
Yeah, and they're not going to approve any infused, but from what they've said, but at least the Baccarat was on the market beforehand, and I do like the Baccarat now and then. That was one of my first cigars.
My
Same
first
with
was
Rita.
a Cohiba.
Your first was a Baccarat. Your second was a Cohiba. We were walking around town and they had a Baccarat shorty. It was like a 4.5 to 5 inch, and so you smoked that first before we even went home. And you had the other that night. You always forget that.
Yeah. Well,
In fact, you almost put it out so that we could go into Goodwill because we were walking around, and then I was like, oh, well, why don't we just walk around some more beforehand? And then we went in there, and there was that cow purse that we picked up. But anyways, I remember the day very well. Trying not to ash too much, as you can see. She's holding on to hers. It holds pretty steady, nice firm ash. That's a good thing.
Firm gray ash, like I said, it's got a really, really great flavor to this cigar. I mean, I have no complaints, at all with it.
Anyways, we will get back to you in the final third of this. Until then, we're going to enjoy every puff of this.
Welcome back to the final third of this Liga Pravada number 9 by Drew Estate.
Now, first thing is, we were gifted these by Johnny Sticks, and I've been talking to him while this has been going on. And I said that the flavors are standard. They kind of are. Primarily, they're chocolate and coffee with maybe a hint of cinnamon sitting in there. Not spicy cinnamon, but there's some kind of earthy notes, some light sweetness of like honey. It's married very well, and those are very standard flavors: honey, cocoa, coffee, earth. There's nothing standoutish about this in that regards. There might be some raisin type flavors. Nothing that really stands out as shocking. That's probably where I'm coming up with honey cocoa, being the kind of raisinish he talks about. So it's kind of like you're getting a review from him too. I've thoroughly enjoyed this cigar. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It is one that if I had a special event, I would possibly think about going ahead and investing in it. It's one of the better sticks that I've had that has been in this price range. So there's that to go too. If you feel like splurging on this cigar, I would recommend it. If you have not smoked one of these and you want to smoke one, but it just doesn't seem feasible with cost, go ahead if you find that you have the money to do so. You are not going to be displeased with it. If you're thinking about buying like 5 or 6 of these and you don't know how you're going to afford it, and you're thinking you're going to end up having to sacrifice all your cigars for the month to do it, don't do it. Maybe get one and get a bunch of other things. This is definitely in my ballpark, to me, a super, super premium. And it's not one that I would probably end up buying because I just cannot afford to. But if I had the opportunity, I would be like, oh, hell yeah! Give me that now. Give it. I'll take it. I mean, it's an excitable cigar in that fact, and I've thoroughly enjoyed this, and I would definitely smoke one anytime I could get the opportunity.
I'm going to have to say I am picking up cocoa, light honey. There's about a medium load of pepper. For me, of course, I as you can see, Johnny Sticks, I've only had 3 fixes. I've been letting this fix itself out, trying to listen to Aaron's advice, and not use the lighter. Of course, the lighter's in his possession. My lighter you gave me, I haven't used but once.
I have not heard her spark the lighter during this entire cigar, pretty much.
So, I gotta say,
I think I have actually fixed mine more frequently because I've had a couple hangnails that actually were beginning to get to the point that they were not going to fix themselves without becoming a massive hangnail.
Still, buckets and buckets of smoke. I do want to say the ash is really good, but like I said, it's medium pepper, so I'd say the final third in the transition is a pepper bomb, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion, as I've said in previous videos. To each their own when it comes to cigars. Cigars are hit and miss.
I don't really notice a pepper bomb at all in this, particularly.
Well,
I don't even notice much Ligero. Medium to full body, I'd call this more medium body. Kind of medium nicotine too.
I would have to agree with Aaron completely honest. This is a medium body. I've had full bodies where like the Diesel T5 Maduro was it?
Yeah.
Just
That's a knockout
something
on your
where you
ass.
need to have something to eat before you even take, to eat. In my opinion.
I want to say that this also produces large amounts of smoke. Doesn't have much in the way of burn issues, no draw issues whatsoever, which has been fantastic.
Exactly. Great burns flawlessly.
To me, the flavors are fairly standard. The marriage is very nice, and the aftertaste, the finish is exceptionally long and quite enjoyable. So
I would say the finish, as he said, is perfect and long. The marriage to this cigar by Jonathan Drew or whoever blended this, mastered it. I don't know where it will be in 2 to 3 years when the FDA finally gets their grubby hands on things, but my opinion is this. Is it worth the money? For some of you it is. For me, if I had got a deal on them, yes. But
well, let's put it this way. If me or Rita walked into a cigar shop and it's $20 and we were planning to spend the whole $20 on one stick, this one would very likely be that stick.
He's talking for himself. Me, if I found there was some Brickhouse 6x60 Maduros, I'd be buying 2 or 3 of those.
I'm saying if you had 20 and could only buy one cigar on that 20.
Now, like I said, he's on his own in that
one. I don't know. I don't think she's understanding my wording of it. You have to buy a cigar that's at least $15 and under 20.
It wouldn't be this one.
Well, what would it be then?
Don't know, but it ain't this one. I think Johnny sticks for it, and if anyone wants to sample some more to me or gift them, I'll take them. But in my opinion, I mean, it is a unique cigar flavor, and I highly recommend it. But when it comes to...
Interesting that you say unique when I'm saying standard, but it is unique in the fact that the finish is so long, and the flavors are tasty enough that finish is just a very good, very nice finish. You sit there and like at first, me and Rita jumped into these cigars and we're kind of over puffing them, and we were getting cones, cone cherries. I don't know how better to place it.
Cone cherries, that's pretty cool.
But it was conical in shape, and it was like half an inch long. That obviously we were puffing too fast, too furious, and actually creating some of our own wonky burns. That happens. However, as this has progressed, there was a point where I thought it wanted to smoke fast, then it wanted to smoke slow, then it wanted to smoke fast, so I was going between a cone and almost tunneling, and it was very difficult for a little bit to try to get under control. But once it settled down, this cigar has just been really fantastic, and yeah, it's a stick that you really got to keep an eye on, not because it's wonky, but because there's a tendency to want to over-smoke this cigar. And then there's a point where you start saying, I need to correct this. And in trying to correct it, it's hard to get the right timing down to between puffs. Do you double puff? Do you triple puff? Do you single puff and rest? How long do you rest? Is it 5 seconds, 40 seconds? All that, this cigar actually requires a little bit more thought in the timing.
I was watching a guy who had like a 15-minute video, and every 45 seconds to a minute I was puffing because, I was puffing slow, but I also was enjoying this cigar because unique flavor, and as Aaron said, the finish is long. I mean, I'm still tasting it, and I puffed,
It's been a great celebratory smoke for a Mother's Day smoke. It's been a very nice, long, burning smoke, too. And if I had spent the money on this, I would have been very pleased with it.
Exactly. I would not be disappointed in this Mother's Day cigar. I think, that...
I mean, how many have we bought that have been $15 to $20, and we've sat there and I spent that much on this?
Well,
So,
I mean,
or other cigars that have been
let me put
given at that price range, but included in a sampler. And
if
we're
someone gave me this and a Diamante, I'd prefer this over the Diamante any day of the week.
Oh, yes. The Diamante was just a horrible mess.
Exactly.
And the Ave Maria, what was that one? The Divinia. That was not even close to worth the money.
Oh, talking about the Davinia for a second, has anyone out there, and I know Aaron's picked it up, noticed that Cigar International and Cigar.com are throwing bundles together with the Davinia now? It means that most likely the Davinia is
They're
a...
forcing it out. They're trying to push it out, and they're trying to make it popular, and it's gotten quite a bit of a following, but I've kind of got the feeling that the one that we had needed some serious dry boxing and aging time before it could even possibly
I think they
be
rushed the
decent smoke.
Davinia out. AJ Fernandez rushed it out.
It's the first smoke I've ever had from AJ Fernandez I was upset about.
Exactly.
And that kind of tells me right there that there was something wrong with the production of it, not necessarily AJ Fernandez.
Because as some of you know, Cigar Productions is simple. They actually get the blend, put it all together, stick 100, 200, 300,000 up to 1,000,000 sticks in a warehouse, and when they're all done rolling them, they put them all in the boxes and chip them out. So
but they try to age them for a while, and I think what happened is their warehouse ended up like empty or something, so they quickly rolled a whole bunch more, no aging time, straight out to the market, and I think that's why we ended up getting some bad ones.
Well, we were talking about cigars for a second. We were talking about the banker, how we thought maybe the cigar shop that we got them from didn't take care of them proper.
There was no flavor in them, but we got some more samples
from
Johnny Sticks, and hey, lo and behold, it was a fantastic stick.
It would be one that I'd buy again, or if people gifted them, I'd smoke them. But the thing is some places, and I'm not going to be rude or crude or slanderous, but there's some places, and Aaron knows who this is. I'm just going to go by his name. I'm not giving you his shop. But there's a guy named Jim that doesn't humidify. His humidor is broken, and his humidifier ain't working. And half the time you get cigars that are cracking and falling apart.
Yeah.
And, it's stuff like that.
So, anyways, what I will end up saying here in conclusion is if you spend the money for this, you will not be disappointed. Definitely worth the money. Is it something that if you can barely afford, you should try to push yourself to buy one of? If you really want to try one, yes. If you don't, well, buy 3 sticks for the same money and enjoy the 3 sticks that you get in the place.
Exactly. I agree with Aaron.
Heck, I could buy a bundle of 20 cigars for the same money as this. And the bundles that I get for 20, I actually know are very quality. So in some ways, I'd rather have 20 of those than one of these. Exactly.
I was going to say it's the same thing, But for $20, Drew Estate made a good hit, and it's one of those that is really a good cigar. I keep looking at it to find out where I got to lay it so it would fix itself. But
I've been teaching her about how to rotate her cigar, and if there's a hangnail, try to rest the hangnail on the bottom, because for some reason it burns hotter at the bottom, so it's more likely to end up fixing itself.
Exactly. So I'm taking cue from Aaron. I do not want to ruin premium cigars. This is a premium, expensive one, so I'm trying to learn so I don't ruin these expensive cigars by lighting up every time to fix it and being the pyromaniac.
Yes, no blowtorch for you.
Exactly. So,
in fact, when we first started this, we watched Cigar International's thing about the 10 mistakes cigar smokers make. And
my favorite's the chomper.
I like the drooler because I've seen people do that. In fact, you used to do that. I'd look over at you and I'm like, Rita, you're dripping drool everywhere. You'd have tobacco leaf stuck to your mouth. It's like, jeez.
One of my favorite cigar stories for somebody out there is one time I had like 10 cigars or something, and in a Tupperware container. Aaron set it up. And my mom had her boyfriend at the time there and family, and they're playing pinochle, and my mom wanted to go to bed. Well, I'm outside on the porch, and we were in a double-wide mobile home, and when you go out onto the porch, to the right, about 10 feet is her window. It's a hot night. It's like 95, 100, hot and humid. I wanted to go out with Aaron to have a cigar, and the only answer I got was, Rita, are you smoking those damn cigars? The smoke was going into her window.
Yeah, she was trying not to use the air conditioner, using the window
You
instead.
didn't have an air conditioner that mobile.
Oh, well,
home.
that's it. I didn't know that. Or at least I forgot it.
You
I
know,
only lived there a year.
baseboard heat's the only thing we had.
And I
in
never
that
thought
place.
it was too hot to need air conditioning.
But we'd have the windows open with the screens, and the smoke blew in. And well, the funny other thing is one time I had a cigar and a pipe with me, and I couldn't smoke. And Aaron at the time smoked cigarettes. He
And I
decided
had
to
a clove. I smoked a clove cigarette, and Rita's mom turns around and yells at Rita, "Stop smoking those damn cigars!" Well, Rita wasn't smoking a cigar. It was me smoking a clove cigarette. So apparently that was just as bad to her.
Yeah, and Mom didn't like it in her minivan.
And I love the smell of clove cigars. Well, cigarettes. If I was ever to smoke a cigarette again, it'd probably be a clove. But those are really harsh on the lungs too. So, anyways, with all that said, we definitely give this a thumbs up, or at least I do. Definitely worth the money. I think that if you do splurge on it, you're going to be happy with it. So please
I agree completely. You're not going to be disappointed. As some say, it's one of those that is an amazing cigar, and it is. So please add and subscribe. Please post comments, leave feedback, suggestions. May God bless you in everything you do.
And if you've smoked one of these and you agree or disagree with us, please leave comments. And just keep it nice is all we ask. And enjoy every puff.